Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Tuesday, the 3rd of Rabi'ul Awwal 1445, corresponding with the English date 19th of September 2023. Hazrat Wala is saying that some people have said that Hazrat Tanvi has already done the work of the next 100 years to come. Most truly, Waqi Hakimul Ummah, Allah Ta'ala had truly inspired his soul and his heart about treating the maladies of and the ailments of the heart. Allah Ta'ala give us the qadr to make the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that the works of a mujaddid is not only for that time, but it is for much greater time than that. The mujaddid himself may have lived for 50 years or maybe 100 years, but those talimat continue for such a long time. This year is a fantastic kitab that I have in front of me, Tasawwuf Asr Jadid mein. I think you should photocopy this kitab and keep a copy with you. Hazrat Wala is saying, Hakimul Ummah, we say, in fact once I wrote Hakimul Ummah and Hazrat Maulana Abrahul Haq said to me that that's not sufficient. Together with that, add Mujaddidul Millah. What can I say? You people, all of you sitting here, you are my ustads. And सुनने सुनाने से मुझे बहुत फ़ायदा होता है. By me coming here and relating this to you, I get tremendous benefit myself. So the initiation of all of this is you people, and you people had become the means due to which I say you are my ustads. And this year what has come about and has been initiated and has come to the front and has come forth, Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on it. Okay, so now let's start and read. Ya Hazrat Tanvi here is saying in this particular malfuz, or in these talimat and teachings, here is saying that insan should have a look at all his a'mal, and then he should choose those which will bring the most proximity for him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now look at that. Till there he says, and then he retracts. However, insan is not mukallaf and he is not bound to that upon which he does not have the capacity and power to carry out. Now, Hazrat Wala is saying himself that whatever qudrat and power and capacity you have, accordingly you would do. And you should be happy on that. If you could not make wudu, then you would have to make tayammum. I am lying down. I say pain, but today I can say jalan, like a burning pain. Allah Ta'ala remove this also. In the next malfuz, Hazrat Tanvi says that किसी अमल को अफजल व मफजूल उस वक्त कहा जाएगा जब दोनों पर कुदरत हो, वरना जिस पर कुदरत हो वही अफजल है. We can say that one act is more meritorious than the other. This will only be in that situation when you are capable or you have the capacity of practicing on both. Then you would say that this one year has greater merit than the other. However, if you do not have qudrat, capability, capacity to do one of them, and you only have the capacity to do only the other, then that is afzal. Now look at how simple and easy he had made it and presented it. You know, here we're saying this here, but I'll bring my own talk and my own story there as well. Hazrat Wala is saying that because of bimari in that time there, I would find it difficulty. Rather, I could not get up in the early hours of the morning. Due to which Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab said to me, he didn't say the word tahajjud, but he said Raat ki namaz. Why can't you read that there at the time of Ishraq? Those wazifa and mamulat, awrad, you cannot do it at that time. Can you not do it at the time of Ishraq? Kya Allah us waqt mawjood nahi hai? Is that same Allah not present at the time of Ishraq? Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala had protected me. You know, when I went, Hazrat Wala is speaking about Pirani Sahiba, his wife, when they were taken and they went for diagnosis to Dr. Farid. And then he said to me, no, there's nothing with you. Whereas I was also coughing. And he said, nothing for you. And he prescribed for the wife. He prescribed for the wife. And then I said to him, but just say, write something, give me some medication to take. He said then that if I write, then you would actually start thinking that I am really sick. Now this is a sign of these master physicians or of these kamils, these people who have reached the heights of perfection. They do not take every person on the same path. And that's why Hazrat Wala is saying that if you are teaching someone, do not make so much of sakhti and do not be so hard on that person that they actually become sick, that you make them make so much of mehnat that in all of that they lose their health. Now Maulana Abdullah Gorakhpuri, his father Maulana Abdul Majid. Now Zahurul Hasan, what did he have to say? That when I see Mauli Abdul Majid, then I think of you. At that time there, I was very lean and I was very thin. And you should also not do and carry out and adopt such a path and way or do so much due to which in all of that you lose your health. In fact, this Mauli Abdul Majid, Hazrat Qari Tayyab Sahab had even mentioned that what has happened to him. He made so much mehnat, he became sick. He was the majaz, a sohbat of Hazrat Tanvi, but he made so much mehnat, due to which it had a negative effect on his health. Hazrat Wala then says to the person there sitting in front that you are from Gorakhpur and I'm speaking about someone from Gorakhpur. So according to the quwwat and the strength that you have, accordingly you would do. Hazrat Shah Abdul Aziz used to say that sihat and health is the first step from amongst the asbab and the means of hidayat. In fact, at one stage when I was not well, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb never used to allow me to come upstairs, and he would say that you remain downstairs. And all in the name of the care and looking after the health, he done all these things that I should not become, or the situation should not worsen. So ifrat and tafreet, one is to go into exaggeration mode, that we do so much that we do lose our health, and the other one is that we do not do anything at all and then expect something. So if a person has both in front of him, that he is able to wake up for the Tahajjud Salat, so then at that time afzal, and the one that would be more meritorious for him would be then for him to wake up at the Tahajjud Salat. And then if the tabib and the physician has prevented you, then for you to read Ishraq Salat is afzal. Now aren't these wonderful words, and so deep, and giving us such a different outlook to all these things which we can experience, normally do experience problems with. Now let me say it again. This is that kitab that I see this gentleman walking out with it and he's going. And then I call him and I say, Kya kitab? Kaun kitab? What kitab is this here? And then I realize this is the kitab. And what was it? It was Tasawwuf Asr Jadid mein, Tasawwuf in the modern age, in the modern day, the Malfuzat of Hazrat Tanvi, all put together from different kitabs, put together here. He was taking it, and he was taking it from my kitab. I did not even know that this kitab was in my Kutub Khana. He was a wakil, advocate, and this here was something which was priceless. In fact, when we went to Delhi, we asked here, we asked there so much, but we could not find it. Eventually, afterwards, we found out that they had printed it somewhere else. So by correcting niyat, even our works of the dunya, which are mabah and which are permissible, they become deen. They become deen just by making our niyat correct. So while staying with a person, to say that this person is a talib-e-dunya, and so by staying with a person, and until and unless you cannot establish that he is actually one who's chasing after the dunya, then it is not permissible for you then to entertain that type of evil thought regarding him. Now these are all things that we need to learn, we need to understand. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, do you think you went for 1 year to Deoband, you understood everything? Did you understand Deobandiyat? What did you understand? Did you understand who was Sheikhul Hind? Did you understand who was Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saheb? Did you understand who was Hazrat Maulana Madni Saheb? Then he would say, बहुत मुश्किल, खूने दिल पीने को, लख्ते जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. You'll have to make mehnat, not just like that. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq. What can I tell you? Because of bimari and sickness, even Fajr is becoming now difficult. But then too, with all of this, I make tayammum, whereas there could be a great possibility of I make wudu. Hazrat Wala is saying, I make wudu, whereas there could be a great possibility that I could even make tayammum. But it is because of the barakat of your enthusiasm and your thirst. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, with some great ajib shan and passion, and in a very tremendous way, he would speak on these malfuzat of Hazrat Tanvi. On one occasion, he was having some snacks or maybe breakfast, and then somebody said something, due to which he stood up, he went into the masjid, and then he started giving waz on this point and trying to elaborate and make people understand this part of it, that the ulama-e zahir ne bhi bahut kaam kiya. Just like how the ulama of the batin and the internal had done such a tremendous work, similarly the ulama-e zahir have also carried out wonderful and great work. They have documented, have written down, noted every naqal and harkat, every movement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and whatever he done. That how did Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam sit? How did he do this and how did he do that? Also, when we sit, we should sit with tawazu, with inkisar. Because this is the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote this incident. He would say that on one occasion, Qari Tayyib Sahab came and then he had to talk and speak. But when he looks at the audience in front of him, he finds his asatiza there sitting. So he made tawakkuf and he stopped and he said that how can I sit here now and give waz when my asatiza here are all present? So this was the adab of the asatiza that these people had. कि एक मन ilm bayad, dahman akal bayad. That for one load or one sack or 1 kilo of knowledge that you may have, you would need 10 kilos or 10 bags of akal. So, Hazrat Tanvi is saying, because of the rectifying one's niyat, the matters of dunya which are permissible also then become deen, due to which, so long as this does not become established that a person is chasing or is a seeker of the dunya, you could never ever entertain such thoughts about such people. Hazrat Wala even gives the incident of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting in the masjid, and then they were busy with the ma'mulat after the Fajr Salat, Zikr, Tilawat, Dua, etc. When a person passes by with his tools, his pick, his axe, etc., going into the woods or into the orchards to go and do his work, somebody remarks that we are here engaged in ibadat, whereas he is chasing after the dunya. And then what happened? What did he say? He said that you are engaged in nafal, he is engaged in fard. You do not have those burdens and loads. He has other fikr and worries, due to which he is going to earn a living so that he can present and put a plate of food on the table spread for his family. So for him, that is now the correct and afzal for him. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to normally give his discourses after the Dhuhr Salat. But after he came to Gorakhpur, his timing of the Majlis was that from 8 to 9. So today, and he would finish on time because people had to go to work. Someone was working on in this office and in that office. So we should never entertain an evil thought or start labeling that this person is a dunyadar. Today, on small things, we start saying this, that, and the other. Now let's go on to the eating and the sleeping. Immediately after eating, when a person then goes down to rest, this would be harmful for his body because the gases rise and then come up to the mind and the brain, due to which there is a fear of sickness being created in the body. So a mu'min also is cautious of sleeping a lot, that he may be caught up in negligence. He protects himself and looks after himself regarding that because he wants to supersede and he wants to go beyond all bounds when it comes to a'mal salihah. Now sometimes a person is lying down, then you would find a person coming, and while the person is lying down, he would want to make mu'anaka of a person in that condition. Now tell me, would they not be taklif and mashakkat for that person then? You know, the choice here of Hazrat Tanvi, of this author here that has brought together the works of Hazrat Tanvi and his Malfuzat, etc., it is absolutely amazing. So when a person is awake, but he doesn't take precaution of protecting himself from negligence, then him and the one who's asleep, they are both the same. What about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's tawazu and his humility? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would come and sit and partake of the sehri together with his companions. This was a true proof of his humility. Okay, what about ittiba sunnat? इबादत में सबसे अफजल इत्तिबा सुन्नत है, ज़्यादा मशक्क़त मतलूब नहीं. In ibadat, the most superior is that of following the sunnat. You don't have to put yourself through much difficulty. Okay, ilmi mashguliyat. So a'mal salihah, in good deeds, everybody's halat and condition is not the same. Some persons ibadat, for some person ibadat would be suitable. For the next one, it will be the companionship of the ulama, and learning and teaching would be better for him. And for someone else, it would be safar and jihad. So the person who has affinity with ilm and knowledge, so for him then, it would be better for him to occupy himself in ilm and knowledge. And ilm is better than all a'mal, like how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had taught us. Now, in a situation like that, to abandon that ilm and get involved in ibadat is then abandoning something and leaving something out. It will bring deficiency and nuqsan, detriment and harm to a person, especially in this time and age, that a person who has ahliyat and he has the capacity and the capability and affinity, and he will be able to work together with ilm and knowledge, and in that tabqa and in that category, then most definitely for him to do that is necessary. Similarly, if you study the different a'mals, jis shakhs ke munasib jo amal, whichever amal is suitable for whichever person, then he should give preference to that amal over others. Nafs amal ki fazilat ko na dekha jaye. Don't look at the virtue and the merit of the amal itself. Now, Hazrat Wala is saying that Hazrat Haji Sahib even said and gave that basharat and glad tidings of the great work that will be taken from Hazrat Tanvi, and for hundreds of years, nothing. He has done so much of work for that amount of time. You know, when I went to one of these countries, I think it was London. Now, great people of knowledge, etc., Sheikhul Hadith, etc., they would come there, but they would be of no benefit and use to the people. They would not even be prepared to read out 2 or 3 ahadith. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, when he used to go, he would sit and start off. He would not look at where's the majma, are there people sitting there or this or that. He would not even wait. When I went to London, so the same thing there, I said to them that you can't say 2 or 3 hadith, and in there, you know the system there, how it works with the stipends and what is the grants that is given from the side of the government, etc., due to which a person becomes sufficient. He doesn't even have to do this or that or the other. But how long does it take to pass on a few ahadith? Just some few minutes. You're getting food free, you're getting this wazifa, this stipend and this grant, but on the other hand, what you would find also that others are working and still taking that, and many people got caught up in that, rather they were taken to task before that. So when we say we're speaking about greed for the dunya. Now here I am saying specifically, especially here I am saying for the ulama. I am not saying dunya, rather I am saying greed for the dunya. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, on one occasion, the father of Hazrat Qari Tayyib Sahab, Sheikh Ahmad, Hafiz Ahmad, he sent Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab to Hazrat Tanvi for some work. Nevertheless, he gave him some money for his bus fare and for the food, etc. He goes, he executes the duty, and he returns, and then he puts money in front of the father of Hazrat Qari Tayyib Sahab, Hafiz Ahmad. And he says, now what's all this about? He said, Hazrat, you gave me some money for food as well, but listen, I did not need that food because when I went there, Hazrat Tanvi fed me and gave me food to eat. I ate with him. So he returned that food. Nevertheless, somebody was then going and passing, and what was the impression that this whole incident left on the heart and the mind and on the conscience of the father of Hazrat Qari Tayyib Sahab. He said that, listen, you're going, if you want to see someone from the people of Jannat, then go and see Mauli Wasiullah. Go and have a look at Mauli Wasiullah. Now it was this waqia that had such a great impact that Hazrat Tanvi or Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab rather then becomes from amongst the celebrated students of Hazrat Tanvi. I went to one of these countries and this ordinary person, dunyadar, businessman, is saying how to do and what to do, that even these people from the khawas, the ulama, or the elite tabqa, the religious, they come and they sit around at the shops. Then they eat the span and they start spitting on the roads and making it dirty. Now, how much of disrepute is brought by who and who is doing it? Allahu Akbar. Now, I'm speaking about London. So, we have to keep and take into consideration this honor and self-respect. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had more sharam and was more bashful than even that of a virgin woman. So we're speaking about izzat. So when we are the naib of the Rasul, then we should also be his muttabi' and we should follow him closely in his sunnats, in how he would eat, in how he would drink. And when this year is for all, absolutely general for the common masses also, then how much more should the ulama not be making amal and practicing on these things? Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr and appreciating the knowledge of nubuwwat, and give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on it. So Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr of the deen, making qadr of the ta'limat and the teachings of our ulama. And remember that do not abandon and do not leave the path of the ulama, because then you would not be here, neither would you be there. But what to do? Nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. Where are you going? What are you doing? You did not even put your foot in this path. Now Hazrat Tanvi yahi sikhate the. He was teaching all of this here. He was teaching adab, etiquettes, respect, culture, tarz, tariqa. That's what he was teaching. Look at the adab mu'asharat. It's a kitab and risala of Hazrat Tanvi. You will actually be amazed of what he has written there. Other kitabs as well. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.